Hello and welcome to the third week of Unsourced Wald's HULKvember. And this is going to be a real fun one because while the first week we had a very special childhood favorite and the infamy of our second week spotlight preceded it, this week we have something that I didn't really know existed. Like, hey, a weird Nick Nolte tree Rockman action figure? I mean, of course everyone's going to have heard of it, but this one really seems to have slipped under the radar, and for good reason. But let's get this box open first and see what it is. Alright, so lo and behold, it is none other but the man himself, Bruce Banner, and maybe one of the most intensively pointless gimmicks ToyBiz put out for this movie tie-in line. And yes, that's including the superposable Hulk figure that was just like a yo-yo. This is basically just a way to price the hell out of a Bruce Banner action figure without actually having to include a full-on Hulk figure to go along with it, because that's what ToyBiz usually did with its Bruce Banner figures. But as we've established, they made like 38 different Hulk figures for this line, and I guess they had to cut costs somewhere, and a very nondescript and unexciting Eric Bana figure seemed like the best option for where to cut. So what we got is a regular, kind of bland Bruce and a whole gimmick shell that is in place of a Hulk. And it is something, so let's get it loose and have ourselves a small demonstration. I'm getting pretty good at this, if I have to say so myself. Now, this says it comes with batteries included, but I got new ones in case, and I'm going to replace them right now, and we're going to see how well this still actually works. So the whole idea behind this product was that you took your standard Bruce and you slipped it inside this plastic containment shell. Now this containment shell, by the way, is actually based on something seen in the movie, except it's just that, just like a regular tube in the movie, not this transforming chamber thing the box says, which is somehow the whole idea behind the entire packaging of this line as a whole. Like, that's what this is all meant to be too, on every single box. But that's enough digressing. Let's test it out. Okay, so we have the tube. There's clips for his torso, but it's really hard to get it up there. And it's supposed to go all the way up there because there's little pegs for his feet. But it's easier to just put him in at the waist. So, you know, he's floating, but it's easier to detach him and put him on. And it's less of a hassle than trying to fit it around his torso where his arms are kind of getting in the way. So we slide that right in. Getting ahead of myself here. Just meant to cap in. Oh, that's it. I think that's why Bruce is meant to go all the way down. Because he gets in the way otherwise. Alright, so I keep trying to get this to cap in. I even moved Bruce a couple of times, but it seems like having the Bruce figure in here only stops it from actually capping, but it doesn't matter. The gimmick works without capping it off, but that is a major design flaw. Alright, so what you do is that you use this little round topper here, and you swish it around, and then boom, we transform into the Hulk, but that's not all. You need batteries, and the battery gimmick is you click this little hidden button here, and he has a gamma glow green. Now, I mean, that's something, I guess. It doesn't really do much. It's not really that impressive. And again, it's really hard to like kind of switch back between Hulk and Bruce because the Bruce hands and the Bruce figure itself is not really measured out that well. You can't hardly even see the gamma green. Maybe you can do it like that. I mean, it's fun, but unlike other lines that they've done for the Hulk or that they did for the Hulk, you would get an actual Hulk figure, and this is really, really lacking. It's just a plastic shell, and it's molded in. You can't really do much. But I do like that they actually went as far as to showcase the purple shorts he wears, even though he's missing his hands and legs. And what's funny is that it's not actually to scale, but we'll get to scale later because it actually does come in handy. All right, so I was able to get the cap firmly secured on. I just want to show that right now because I don't plan on making an addendum video for this, just to show that I was able to make the toy work. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty functional. It's pretty standard. It's not proportioned well, but it's fine. It's a fine for this little bottle toy that it is. Although, like I was saying with previous videos, it still has that really uncharacteristic angly Hulk snarl growl. And, you know, that could have been way better. But honestly, I can see why this figure was so hard to track down. Eric Bana's Bruce is probably one of the most low-key and not very outrageous or comic booky versions ever made, which might be hard to portray as a toy for kids. But not even bothering to give him an actual proper Hulk 2-pack figure made this toy something that no one really bothered to get, which means that there are less around on the secondhand market, which also means that this is one of the most expensive figures you can get for this toy line. Like, of course, stuff like the Hulk voice changer or Hulk hands are going to be more, but in terms of having an actual figure, this is basically foolishly expensive. I was lucky to get it for what I did, and even then, I'm a bit ashamed to admit what that was. But you know, it's pretty much the only way you're going to get a Bruce Banner figure. And for what it is, and for how bare bones it is, I mean, what collection is going to be complete without one? You can't have the Hulk without Bruce, and this is even more true for the Ang Lee movie. And you know, as a tiny toy, it's fine. I mean, one thing about it that is weird off the bat is there's no hand articulation. So the figure is always in this weird pose of his hands, where this one seems like it's broken, splayed out flat like that. And this one always has like a weird grip. Oh, this one has hand swivel. Does this one have a hand swivel? Because no, this one is molded forever. Okay, so that's weird. This one has like a hand swivel, and this one is just flat out palmed out. It makes his arm look broken because of how that happens. Maybe it is broken. Maybe I just got a broken figure. We'll never know because I'm never going to buy another one of these because I don't want to be broke. But it's fine. Decent articulation, decent movement. Can probably stand better than the David Banner figure at least. And, you know, it's funny. It doesn't really even look that much like Eric Bana. I think the Punching Hulk looks more like him than this does. And we'll see more of that because I'm going to do some pictures and comparisons and scaling issues with the gallery of pictures we're going to do right after this video. So be on the lookout for that. And I might even try to recreate the famous Incredible Hulk issue #1 pose and framing because, like, hey, it's made for it. It even has the arms kind of splayed out. So that's going to be fun. And, you know, I'm glad I have this. It's really meant for the most insane collectionist and kind of fanatic for the movie. But, you know, I guess that's what I kind of am. I love the movie and I think it really rocks. And it's fun to have not one, but two Eric Bana kind of figures from this line. And yeah, it's nice. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And I can't wait for the last week of HULKvember next week, because that's going to be a really special one, even amongst all these other ones. So yeah, let's say goodbye to these guys. The Hulk Gamma Glow works without the tube. It's kind of eerie. But thank you so much, and see you again next week. Stay tuned for the pictures.